Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. We're back with Jennie. I think that's a red brush. I can't tell. Yeah, it is, I think. We're back with Jennie. She had her bake. She's had everything but her final blush. And she's looking pretty good, I have to say. Her scratch came out wonderful. You can feel it and everything. Real nice looking scratch. Anyway, I want to try something. I recently, well, it's not that recent. I think I was here, so it couldn't have been longer than February ago. But I had bought some Beatrice Clementi paints to try out, and I decided to abandon that project, but I kept the paints that were already mixed up. And I gave the rest of them to my friend. The reason I abandoned that project wasn't because I didn't like the paint. It's very high quality paint, you can tell. It was because the colors weren't just right for me, and I was going to have to do a lot of mixing in order to get them right, and I'm not a mixer. But I did save this pinkish looking lip, nails, and blush. And I don't know how it's going to look on the doll, but it looks very pink in the jar to me, as compared to, say, this Gemini, which is wine colored. And you'd think, well, this is going to be much darker. It's going to make the doll darker. But I thought I'd just try a little bit of oh my goodness. Listen to that. I thought I'd just try a little bit of that on the back of her head where I'm going to put hair. I just want to see what it's going to look like before I dump it out. I'm about to dump out all the other colors because, well, I have a comparable color over in the Gemini. But I'm not fully satisfied with this Gemini lip nail blush color. And, well, it's not even the lip nail blush. I mixed this color myself. It was mixed with that quinacridine, or however you say that word, red, and some blue. I mixed it myself, but I'm still not fully satisfied with it, so I wanted to try this one again. And if it looks good on the back of her head, I'm going to assume it's going to look good on the front of her head too, because like I said, I'm not fully satisfied. And so I'm going to put a little bit of it on the back of her head, and then I'm going to put the rest of her with that. Because it's not going to show. If I don't like it, it's no big thing, because it's not going to show. The hair will cover it up, and I am pretty sure she's not going to mess up enough where I can't put hair on her. Boy, that's a terrible, terrible paintbrush. But I'll use it to get out some of this. I need to tear this sponge. I'm going to do the back of her head first. I want to see if I can like it. I'm kind of worried about the outcome if it's too pink. Oh my. It's very pink. And that's one of the reasons I abandoned the Beatrice Clementi, because their paint is fabulous. It's fabulous paint. If you like the colors and you don't want to have to mix, I don't want to have to mix anything, but if you don't mind mixing something into your colors to make them the color you want, or if you like the colors already, it's great, great paint. I'm putting this on the back of her head. I can tell already it's not going to be dark. It's just going to be, I'm just going to do the part that I know is not going to show when I put hair on, like that. And then I'm going to dab it a little bit with this little dabbing sponge. And as far as I can tell, it's probably going to take 2 to 3 layers of this for it to even look like blush, because it totally doesn't even look like she has any blush on her at all. It almost looks exactly the same. It doesn't turn her pink or anything. That's a good thing. But the color is very, very, very light. Maybe it should have been darker. I don't know. Let me hit that with the heat gun a little bit, and maybe I'll just apply another layer immediately and see if it helps. It has almost completely disappeared. I can't even tell I put it on there hardly at all. I mean, there's a slight difference, but the color is so light. It probably should have been mixed much darker, but you know, I was just testing the paint. I didn't want to, I don't know, I didn't want to use that much. It is a very pinkish color, so it will blush her. This second layer is looking darker, so it will blush her, but will it be a color that I can stand? I don't know. If it is, I'm going to switch my blush to Beatrice Clementi because, well, all I need to do is not have to mix a bunch of colors together. I'm not ready to commit to changing all of my paint to Beatrice Clementi on account of I have so much of this Gemini I need to use up first. I'm not going to just throw it all away or let it go bad up there, but Beatrice Clementi paint is very creamy, super easy to apply. It goes on as smooth as silk. It's beautiful paint, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to I'm going to put regular blush on the rest of her to make sure that I have a real comparison, and we're going to see. That's 2 coats of Beatrice Clementi on the back of her head, just on the back of her head. I'm going to put these over here so I don't get them mixed up. I don't see how I could, but still, you know. And if all goes well, then I've probably mixed my last jar of this stuff. I'm not happy about having to mix it because every time you mix it, it's different. I don't like doing that. Sometimes it comes out purpley looking. Sometimes it's really dark red. All different every time because, well, it's a mixed up custom color and you can't get it exactly right every single time. I once decided I would measure my paint, literally measure it, how much I put in there. And I bought this set of, I don't remember which doll company was selling it, but it was a set of measuring spoons that had, they didn't have teaspoon, tablespoon, they had things like a pinch, a dash, like that, different little descriptions like that for how much you was putting in, and they were ultra tiny, and when you put the paint in them, it was so hard to get it back out. You know, I'm gonna put 2 of these in paint and 1 of these and that, you know, and because Bountiful Baby used to post a mixing chart on how if you had these certain colors of paints, you could mix any color that Bountiful Baby sold. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to mix my own paints, but it was so hard that I abandoned that project. I can tell it's going to be a different color from the back of her head. I can tell that right away. This is darker. I'm not really sure. I might order another jar of that Beatrice Clementi stuff because I could have mixed it darker, I suppose. But yes, the back of her head does not even look hardly blushed at all compared to the front of her. Well, not even the front. You can't really compare to the front because it's already got blush on it. But just up here on the top of her head, see, I only did the back of her head with that Beatrice Clementi. But up here on the top of her head, it already looks a lot darker. You probably can't tell in the photograph, on camera, but it's just much darker. And sometimes I actually think that it's not dark enough, that the blush that I'm using is not dark enough. And so I don't see how I can go with something lighter. Pink is not my color. I don't think pink belongs on a doll anywhere. And that's what's wrong with this Gemini as well. It's too pink. And in order to get it the color that I need it to be, I have to add blue to it. And I suppose that I could do that to the Beatrice Clementi, but why change if you still have to mix, you know? I was trying to decide if I could change and not have to mix, but I don't know. It's just hard to decide what to do with paints. It's all a trial until you find out that it's going to work. What is that? I don't know what that is. Looks like the wings of a bug. I suppose I bake outside. I suppose a bug could have gotten in the oven when I was getting ready to bake her the last time, and it just disintegrated from the heat, and its wings fell on the doll's leg. I guess that could have happened. I don't know. I'm guessing. But that's what it looked like to me, the wings of a bug. Ooh, it's much safer to bake outside. I used to bake right in my house. And during the winter, when it was really, really cold outside, I was baking in front of the window. I put the oven in front of the window and opened up the window, and yeah, it got a little cold in here, but it was better than going out in the frigid, freezing cold to bake a doll, I thought. But now I think this winter, I'm just going to go outside to bake them in still. You're only out there for a minute putting them in the oven, and then another minute out there to take them out. And you don't have to stand out there with the oven. So, you know, it's not that bad. But anyway, this will be her final coat. She looks good to me. And when she comes out, I'm going to try to tip her nails. We went over that. Y'all saw me do it. It's not hard. It's very, very simple, actually. It seemed hard at first, but then I was such a success at it that I go, it wasn't really all that hard. I thought it was going to be much more difficult than it was. I'm just going to get another one of these little tiny caps right here and put a little bit of thinning medium in there, and just a tiny bit of thinning medium, and then put a tiny bit of that nail tip in there and just use the toothpick and swipe it across the nail. It's just very, very simple. It needs to be thick, because if it's not, it's going to run right off the nails. But I am going to tip her nails. I probably won't record that because it's just, I have it already done on another video. I don't know, I might incorporate it in. I haven't decided yet. It's just taking forever for her videos to download. As I'm recording this one right now, the first one is downloaded and the second one is taking forever. So this is probably part 4. I'm not sure, maybe part 5. I don't know how many are waiting to download. I can't remember. And it's just ridiculous that it should take that long for a video to download. It's just, oh, them people are stomping around again. Sounds like they're upstairs in the attic or something. There's no apartments above us, so it has to be that they're in another apartment adjacent to us some kind of way, and they're stomping around and banging and stuff, and it's very loud. Sounds like they're dropping something heavy. Anyway, she'll get right back in the oven here in just a few minutes, and then I'm going to start on, probably immediately start on Canon. I think it's Canon. I think that's who I got over here at the side ready to go. I'm going to immediately start on his enhancements and stuff, and then we'll move right along, and hopefully we'll come up with some new ideas as we're going along. I know sometimes it seems like a lot of repetition, but that's what painting dolls is, a lot of repetition. And if you're new to it, repetition can just be practice that makes you perfect. And I by far don't think I'm perfect, so I need lots and lots of repetition. And you know, if you paint along with me, you're going to get plenty of practice, because I'm almost constantly working on a doll. I don't like going to my room at night to watch TV if I don't have some rooting to do. I'm a multitasker, I guess is what you'd call it. I can't be just doing one thing. I must be doing something else. I just can't sit there and idly watch TV. I don't know why. I enjoy TV, but I need to be doing something else at the same time. Basically, I'm just listening to the TV, and then when something sounds very, very interesting, I'll stop what I'm doing and look at the TV for a while to see what's going on. And that's basically the way I watch TV. I'm rooting, or I'm dressing dolls and taking pictures of them or something while I'm watching television. I think I've got all the limbs now. I did that one, I know, I can tell. That little spot right there on her wrist just doesn't look like it's been painted. Anyway, I'm not going to hit her with the glue gun. I'm going to probably end up calling that a glue gun, just like I call the I say water it down for when I mean put paint thinner in it and stuff like that. I'm probably going to end up calling that a glue gun, because it's just, I think I'll tip her nails now. I don't think she needs a bake before we do that. I think I can safely put tips on her nails without messing up her paint. It's just another little cap like this one. This has got the scratch stuff in it. I wish I could find a way to preserve it. Maybe I could. Maybe I could stick this little thing. I don't know. I'm just being ridiculous. I'm sure you're going, oh, that is so ridiculous. But I am not a waster. I don't like to waste anything. Even the paint I've abandoned, I keep it. I have still some of that. I think I do. If I didn't go on and pour it out, still have some of that air dry paint that I could stick this in here. Maybe it won't dry out. It's ridiculous, I know, but it's just perfect for a scratch. And why mix more when you already have plenty mixed up? Get all the air out I can so it won't dry up maybe. And I'll just lay it over here. And if it's still good when I get ready to do another scratch, well, I'll use it. And if it's not, no harm done, I'll just throw it out. I have another little lid. I like the clearer ones better. I had some black ones, but you can't really see if your paint's mixed well in the black one. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little bit of this nail tip. And, oh my, if I have any of this left, I'm going to be putting it in a bag too, because, well, you know, me. I can't waste things on purpose. This needs a stir. That much I know. These are considered oil paints. They have a little bit of some kind of oil in them, and it makes them separate a little bit. You literally need the tiniest little bit of this. It's just so tiny that it's ridiculous, because the teeny little bit that you can actually use is so tiny that that's way, way too much right there. I just don't know how to mix anything smaller than that. I need some thinning medium. Here it is right here. I'm going to wipe off this toothpick and just stick it in the thinning medium and hope it doesn't get a whole lot of nail tip in it. Well, I don't even know how much to put. I'm just going to put some like that. You have to have enough to thin down the paint where it's not just thick from the bottle, you know. You don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin, but it's got to be thin enough to use and thick enough to not run off the nails. Is that as clear as mud? So I just mix it up, and if it looks right, I start using it, and if it doesn't look right, well, I do something to it to try to make it better. This looks good. I don't know if it's going to be good. It looks a little thin, but I think it'll still work. You saw I just put drizzles, just a tiny drizzle of thinning medium in there, and just a tiny bit on the toothpick of the nail tip. So now I'm going to just, this is a little thinner than what I was using before, but that much right there is probably enough to tip 2 or 3 nails. I don't know. Before I found that it was really, really a small amount is all that you really need. A tiny, tiny bit. And you can end up tipping 2 or 3 nails with that. Keep a swab handy, because if you mess up, you're going to have to swab it off like this and do it again. All you really need is a tiny bit on the tip of it. I mean, you can't even see that. I can't even see it. But it's going to be enough to tip this nail. And you just swipe it as best you can with shaky hands across the tip of the nail. I have very, very shaky hands. I mean, the very, very edge of the nail is what you want. Kind of like that. That's not the best in the world, I know, but like I said, I have very, very shaky hands. And this is only the second time I've ever done it. I did better the first time. I guess I tried a little harder. I don't know. I wanted it to come out extra smooth and good looking. And the thinner you can make it, the strip, I mean, the strip across the nail should be very, very thin. It doesn't need to go deep into the nail, just the very, very tip. There's actually an edge to the nail that you can't really see, but you can feel it. It's where the nail sticks out a tiny bit over the finger a little bit. If you can get it on that edge, it's even better. It's supposed to look like, you know how your nail go past your finger a little bit and it looks clearish almost, or whitish. It's supposed to look kind of like that, but of course this is a poor excuse for nail tipping. If you're using that new product, it's powders, and powders are very, I want to warn you, very messy. I bought some powders to use, and man, they just get all over your doll in just seconds, and it will not come off. I've had several people in my doll group mention, well, I didn't have them, but they mentioned that they tried to use that stuff, and it just was such a disaster. There's a steep learning curve to that. It's super messy. That's all I can say. It's got all over my table, got all over my doll. If you get any of it on your hands, you better wash your hands 5 or 6 times, because it's not coming off one time. And then you're going to touch your doll thinking your hands are clean, and you're going to get it on the doll's head or their face, and it doesn't come off. And it's tragic, because you just did all that paint into that doll, and now it's ruined. I ruined a doll that way, trying to use that stuff, and it's a disaster. Now I need another little plastic bag or something to put this one in, so this nail tip won't go bad. Huh. Throw it away, you dumb belt. It's just a tiny bit. I wonder if I could stick it in here and that they wouldn't spill on each other. I think I can. Anyway, we're going to just see. This is just kind of experimental to see if it'll still even be good when I want to use it again. We don't even know. So I'm not a fan of mixing things up, so I'm going to save it. Already mixed up and seems perfect. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so she's going to go back in the oven, and when she comes out, she's finished. The only thing that I do after they're finished is give them a magnet and put the glue on their nails and lips and stuff like that, you know. And then they go straight for hair, and she's going to probably get started tonight with her hair, because I finished Felicity. And now I have June and Felicity, who have hair, but they're not put together. And I'm about to have Jennie, and then we're going to be starting on Cannon just in probably a few minutes. I'm going to go put her in the oven and come right back and start another segment that's going to be Cannon. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Y'all please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.